What's going on, guys? Welcome to this week's video. I'm Steve, and today we are putting the new turbo setup on the dyno. We have a 4-hour trip from here in Toronto all the way to Calabogie Motorsports Park. That's where our boy Brett at BR Tuning is located. It's time to see what this pig is gonna make with the new turbo setup. We gotta get this thing loaded up, and we gotta leave at about 4:16 a.m. tomorrow morning because it is a there and back day. So let's get down to business. It is 4:16 in the morning. We got just under a 4-hour drive to BR Tuning, because today the Mustang is getting dynoed. Looking so nice. These are the old plugs, very sooted up, but still working, which is good. So if you haven't been keeping up with the Mustang build, here is what has changed since the last time we were here at BR Tuning. First of all, I got a mustache, that's plus 5 horsepower. Second of all, I brought my dog, who's guarding me from chipmunks, but actually, on the 1JZ, we have got a new Pulsar 5455 or like G30 660. I've got a new downpipe. I've got a 50 mil Pulsar wastegate. I have a CX Racing manifold. I have Bosch 1000cc injectors. I got a DYNO fuel pressure regulator. And all the way into the back in the gas tank, I have a DYNO 420 liter per hour pump. So we're gonna see what this thing makes today. So first and foremost, I want a 1JZ Mustang that runs and drives when we leave here. Second of all, I would like to hit 400 horsepower or very close to it at the wheels, but I want a safe, happy, running, driving, cool sounding, fast car at the end of it, which I think we can do. We just gotta not screw it up. So that's what I'm hoping for. Close to 400 wheel, close to 400 torque. That's what I'm looking for. Opie, what do you think the Mustang's gonna make today? Yeah, it's gonna make a lot of noise and scare you, probably. They'll let any old hunk of junk on the dyno.
I think this dyno is always a little bit of a heartbreaker, like slightly. So I'm gonna say like top tune, like 370. Let's go 370. That's what I'm thinking. 370 wheel.
Sounds good.
But it would be interesting to see what it makes on 14 PSI.
Here we go. I don't know if this is gonna work. We're gonna find out. now we're just working through a couple of the teething problems. We're just kind of figuring out the general fuel, what the turbo likes. So we're not really making any power runs. We're just trying to clean it up, get it working well. As you can see, there's a ton of fuel coming out of this thing. So like, we're not making what we made last time just because like it's all over the place. This thing is just dumping fuel in there. So we're moving on. Thank God Brett asked if there was oil in it. I thought it was full. It was minimum. So caught that before we started. Thank God. Opie, what do you think about all this? Yeah, she's pretty quiet on the whole matter. What happened, Stevie B? I blew the, well, I'm an idiot and I didn't tighten this enough. Up to about 10 pounds of boost, and then saw it drop back down to 6. So after a mild panic attack, gathered myself and found this guy.
You'll test these charge pipe couplers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with mine.
Yeah, I remember.
Easy fix.
Kept blowing the charge pipe off the turbine housing. It's kind of on an elbow, so it's not perfect, but we cranked the life out of it. Right now it just made 235, 240 at 9 PSI. Super lazy, super fat, but charge pipe's on. Everything else is looking good.
Seems
so now
happy.
It's gonna hit it with 30% duty cycle, and hopefully we're gonna make more power, because if we only make 250 after all this, I'll be real upset. First real pull, 30% duty cycle on the Mac valve. We made 301 and 311, right around like 4,300 for peak torque. Shy of 5 grand for 300 wheel horse, which is great. So now we're gonna bump the duty cycle after 4,500. Curve looks good, car looks happy. No more boost pipes falling off, which is sick. We're feeling better now. Whew. Because we're getting more serious, Brett said, hey, just go ahead and take this filter off. It's real little, it's gonna be a restriction, so filter is off. We're gonna do most of the tuning with the filter off because it is undersized. And then at the end, we'll put it back on and just see what it does. This run, or this past run, was no changes, filter off. We just wanted to see what it was going to do. Didn't really do anything. We are at 35% duty cycle on the Mac valve, roughly about 16 PSI. After 4,000 RPM, he's going to give it a bump to a 5% bump, see what it does, and then another 5% bump close to 7,000. Just see if it brings it up. I don't know if we're getting to 400, Rick.
We'll see. It just depends how much it picks up. So he's just gonna jump it up. I mean, 30% was 6-7 pounds. So 30% on from 0, I guess, was So that should be another 2 or 3 pounds. So we'll see.
I once again have my life flash before my eyes. That was a huge boost cut. We had it set at 20 and forgot, and now we're at 20. So just completed our recent pull. See what the 5% tickle did on the boost cycle.
Dude, he's coming in hard right now.
See?
Look how hard the torque's coming. More or less like.
We are at 320 wheel and 336 pound-feet of torque. We are going to keep throwing a little bit more duty cycle at the wastegate up top, see if we can keep that power going. Seems like we're going to end up around like the 350, 370 mark. It's going to give us a couple tunes. We're going to tickle it up top just to keep this power going, and we should be good. Opie is pretty fired up. I looked down here, there's a bunch of oil in here. I was like, oh my God, I blew the motor up. Then I forgot I spilled a bunch of oil down there. So, rust proofing, I guess.
Gapping some plugs.
Oops. Starting to be that old familiar song whenever we go to Brett's, but it looks like we're kind of tapped out. So the back housing on the turbo is definitely what is kind of limiting us. The extra 5% duty cycle on the second last pull didn't really get us much horsepower. Got us like maybe 10. So it's very much diminishing returns, whereas a 5% bump previously got us like 30. So we're thinking that we're limited by the back housing on it and just not being able to move out that much of the exhaust. So we're playing around with like timing, we're playing around with VVT and just see what happens. But overall, it's looking like we picked up like 80 wheel horsepower and then maybe another 40 pound-feet of torque. But the torque curve is way meatier, like way meatier. It's a little disappointing. I definitely wanted to get to 400, but I think in my mind I knew I wasn't gonna get there. It still sounds sweet and it still runs. I don't know. I'll have some more pizza and think about it, but might have to get a new back housing. That air filter is going to impact the power. 335 wheel, 349 wheel torque. Let's see what happens. Somebody's gonna have to help me understand this, but it actually made more with the air filter on, so a little confusing. I don't know. So looks like 339 and 354 is where we're at. So that is a happy 1GZ Fox body. So that's it. 353 wheel torque and then 339 wheel horsepower is all she wrote. We got two tunes, the 339, which is 20 PSI, and then we got gate pressure, which is probably more like high twos. We're gonna strap this puppy and take it for a rip, tater chip. So, sounds sweet, but you cannot hear the turbo from out back. It's ridiculously loud. I don't know why.
Fucking sick, and it sounded nasty. So this will be dope. The area under the graph is what really matters, and like the thing picked up a ton, so it's gonna feel so much better. And then was able to carry it out further. So like usable power is gonna be sick.
The top end of the RPM range picked up 100 wheel.
100%. So
which is awesome.
We've said it needs gearing because it has really long gearing.
Yeah.
But for a cruiser, like a street cruiser, the gearing is 9. So it's actually pretty good. But
we'll have to go cruise it now. See what happens.
Get after it.
Okay. This is 339